Welcome. Today we're going to go over the basics of remote control. What you see in front of you here is a basic remote control transmitter. If you look more in detail at it, what you'll notice is there's two sticks, and each stick is capable of two movements. The stick will go up and down, and it will also go to the left and the right. So what this means is this remote control transmitter has 4 channels, and what I've done is I've just labeled each channel in the way that it moves. Channel 1 is the right stick. It moves from left to right. If you look at channel 2, that movement is up and down. Channel 3 is the right stick that goes up and down, and channel 4 is the left stick that goes to the left and to the right. So what that does is it sends a signal through the antenna to a receiver, and the receiver has corresponding channel slots. So if you look at this receiver carefully, you'll see at the bottom here, you'll see that it's labeled for pin 1, and there's nothing in pin 1, that's channel 1. Channel 2 has a servo plugged into it. Then you just move your way up along the chain. Channel 3, channel 4. At the top is the battery. So let's just go ahead and give a short demonstration of how all this comes together and works. So the way that you activate this, there's a certain sequence. It's important that you go and turn everything on in the right order. The first thing you want to do is you want to start your transmitter first. So you turn your transmitter on, and what that does is it starts transmitting the signal. The sticks are in the middle position, so it's transmitting everything just as you see it there. And the second thing you want to do is power up the receiver. There's a little switch here, so we're going to go ahead and power that up. And what we see happening now is there's a servo that's moving a little bit. So that's going to lead me to the next part, is the trim tab function. So what we're going to do is this servo's a little squirrely. It's moving. We don't want that to happen. That's plugged into channel 2. So each channel has something called a trim tab that moves alongside the channel. So the channel 2 trim tab moves up and down. So what that does, it just gives a set point. It makes a minor adjustment to it. So let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and trim this down, click, and that'll activate the servo a little bit so that it moves in the down direction. And it holds it. So what's unique about the trim tabs is it's a hold function. So I'll go ahead and move that back up, and now I'm at the point where I've trimmed the servo and it's stopped. So these are trim tabs. If I wanted to make a trim tab adjustment to channel 4, I would use this one, trim it to the left, trim it to the right. Another thing I'd like to point out about the transmitter is the mode. So there's some buttons down here, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have it in the normal mode, and there's also each channel is capable of being reversed and normal. That's what that means. So channel 1, you can reverse that. That's just if you hook the servo up backwards. You don't have to take the servo out. You can just change the direction of what happens. Some other very important switches that you need to get right, and I apologize for the focus of the camera here, and let's see if it comes back in place. There it is right there. So you have a mode 1 and a mode 2. So what you want to do is the simplest, most easy to understand function is mode 1. That just corresponds to what sticks control what channels. 90% of the people that use transmitters in America use mode 1. Europeans like mode 2. What it does, it switches the channels around. I'm not sure what sequence it is, but it'll make channel 2 be on this side of the transmitter and then switch this one over here. But the American system generally goes with mode 1. The next thing I'd like to do is point this out. There's something called fixed wing, another thing called delta, and what that does, it does a function called mixing. You don't really have to, I don't want to get into that right now, but what that means is if you turn this this way, if you mix it may automatically make this stick turn a little to the left without having to turn it. So what that does is it adds in a mixing function where you make a movement with one stick and it programs into the radio movement of a servo for another one. So what you want to do, just a quick review, 4 channels. You have 2 sticks. Each stick goes up and down, left and right, hence 4 channels. Make sure you have it in the right mode. Put the servo in backwards, find out what servo it is and what channel it is, and you can switch it. And use your trim tabs to go ahead and make minor adjustments to your servos as you see fit. Hope that helps.